This Etsy store is making $90,000 a month selling one weird digital product. I mean, seriously, I don't know who the hell buys junk journals. If you've never heard about junk journals, you're in the right place. I'm gonna explain to you what those are, why do people buy them, how to make one, and how you can turn your Etsy shop into junk journal printing machine. And there's 5 different steps that we're gonna go over it and stick to the very end, because the last one is gonna explain to you what is the difference between a shop that's making $2,000 a month in profit versus the ones that are making $90,000 in profit selling junk journals. So the first thing first, what is a junk journal and why do people buy it? Junk journal, what the name suggests, is a bunch of junk put in a journal. And why do people do this? Well, to express themselves, to be crafty, to show appreciation for old stuff. I did a little bit of research about junk journals, and what I found is that this is mostly purchased by people that like to give second life to things. They don't like wasting items, they like repurposing, and usually they are very crafty as well. To be honest with you, the only thing that comes to my mind is like people from Portlandia. Have you guys seen that show? It's just like a bunch of hippie, crafty, weird people that live in Portland. No offense to you guys in Portland, but let's face it, your slogan is keep the Portland weird. So like that's the crowd that buys junk journals. People that are very artsy and free spirit and want to give old things a second life. And the store I shared with you called My Porch Prints is making $90,000 a month selling digital versions of junk journals. And why digital? Well, because sometimes people that want to create junk journals in real life will not find the design they're looking for in real life. So they need to go and find them digitally, print them out, and then use that printout to create the junk journals of their imagination. So if you sell junk journals, you basically become a supplier of crafty pages that are not accessible anywhere else in the real world. And junk journals are extremely popular on Etsy. Besides that store that I just showed you, there's another one called Whiteboard Studios that was open only 8 months ago, and it's already making $2,000 a month. Here's one called Eternal Tale Pages that makes $10,000 a month, and it's 2 years old. Or this one, it's an absolute moloch, okay? And it's been on Etsy for 14 years. But Victoria Designs makes $342,000 a month from selling junk journals. The thing is that this store is actually making junk journals in real life, and she's also mixing some of digital stores. So it's kind of doing both, but we're gonna focus on the ones that are doing stuff digitally, because even if you make $10,000 a month selling digital junk journals, that's mostly profit for you, because digital stuff have very high margins of about 80%. There's not a lot of cost associated with it besides the Etsy fees and maybe ads if you do run ads. But in my opinion, you don't have to run ads on Etsy, or at least if you decide to do it, you need to do it right. And that's a topic for another video. If you want me to talk about it, just say the word ads in the comments and I'll make a video about ads. Okay, but what type of junk journals should you be selling in order to be successful? As you probably know me, I like to look at the data and follow what is already trending and selling. I don't like to guess. I don't like to be creative. Well, at least not in the sense that like, I don't want to create something that I'm not sure it's going to work. I want to know what works 100%, and that's what I want to sell. And there's a couple of themes that usually repeat themselves in a junk journal world, such as plaques with quotes and names that are created in this like old school style. Quotes are one of the best things because they usually have meaning and people can associate with that meaning of the word. Like every day is a gift, you're enough, or choose joy. Yeah, that sounds like something that a white girl would say, but that's kind of the target audience anyway, so it works perfectly. But you know what? I love these simple quotes. They're powerful, meaningful, and I don't care what other people think about them. Another big things are seasons, so like winter, fall, Christmas, Halloween. You're gonna see a lot of junk journals theme in those seasonal aspects. Right now is July. You can probably prepare for like winter, Christmas. Those are gonna be big ones, as well as Halloween too. Here's an example of Halloween pages that people are buying for their junk journals that generated 448 sales in total. Another thing that you're gonna see often are books or journal spines. So here's an example of it. People print this out, and that's a big part of the junk journal, you know, the spine, the side of it. So it's something that's evergreen and it's always gonna sell. Like this one is getting 56 monthly sales and it generated 1,200 sales in total. Another big theme is fairy tales. You know, dragons, castles, magic, things of that nature. It's also something that works very well in the junk journal world. You know, all the crystal girls, they're gonna love this because their magical journal gives them power and stuff, and You know what I mean. You're gonna see a lot of fairy tales, okay? Another big thing that you're gonna see are newspaper pages or like something that looks like an old recipe or vintage ledger pages. It just has this old school look. People like it, people use it. It's an integral part of the junk journal as well. So it's like an evergreen product that's also gonna be popular most of the time. However, once we figure out what we wanna sell and what works, how do we actually create these junk journals, specifically if we wanna use AI such as ChatGPT? Well, you might be surprised, but this process is actually pretty simple. So let's say we want to create one of these junk journal plagues that have this quote such as dream big. All you have to do is take a screenshot of that word just like that and go to our best friend ChatGPT. You're just gonna upload that screenshot that we just took from Etsy and just say, hey, create a similar image. That's gonna be our starting point, and let's see what type of image we're gonna get.
A few moments later.
We got our image, however, it is cut out. So what we need to do, we need to fix it a little bit. We're gonna click on area that we wanna fix. I'm gonna select this and I'm gonna tell it fix the frame because I want the whole image to look whole, not like cut out. And Chat is gonna work on it. Let's give it a couple seconds and see what we got.
A few moments later.
Now that's much better. However, what I would suggest is also upscaling this image, and you can use AI upscalers to do it, but I'll show you my trick that I use with Canva. So download the image from Chat, open Canva and go to create new document and go with custom and make this size 4000 by 4000 and upload your image that you got from Chat and stretch it out as much as you can. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna make the image ready to be printed in a high quality because we increased it to 4000 by 4000 pixels and it's gonna be a better quality. So now we're gonna save it, download it, make it as transparent so it doesn't have this white background, and boom, now we have a high quality image that was created in a couple seconds. So as you can see, creating these images is very simple. My thing is that you should look for the things that are already working, but you should add your own spin to it. So A, B, C, D. Always be copying differently. So for example, with our design right here, maybe instead of saying dream big, we would use a different quote so it doesn't look like it's exact copy of our competitor. Okay, so you're ready to roll, but how do you scale this bad boy so you can make $90,000 a month, just like the other store that we explored earlier? Well, first of all, you need to create listings. And junk journal listings are usually bundles of multiple pages. So this bundle sells for $3.99 and includes 10 images of journal pages. So you can start creating these bundles of 10, 20 images, putting them all together in a zip file, and then upload them to Etsy and sell it for money. And what I suggest you do is to start a 60-day challenge. 60 days is enough time to start this business to a really good base. Spend 2 hours a day, list one junk journal listing a day. Within 60 days, you're gonna have 60 listings, which is enough to give this shop a nice, decent momentum. And if you need help with staying accountable, we just launched a 60-day challenge on Etsy on our community, dropshipping.com. You can join for free. And every day you will have to fill out the quiz and prove that you finished your work and keep yourself accountable. Again, the point of this challenge is to help you start a business. In the meantime, you can also come to our meetings that we host every Tuesday and Wednesday and ask me questions or other members on how to help or how to scale or give you feedback or whatever else you want to talk about. You will also get access to our product research tool called Etsy Research Wizard, which will show you popular now digital products on Etsy as well as print on demand. And that way you can know which digital products are the best now to sell. Again, this is free. Go to dropshipping.com, sign up, see it for yourself, and I will see you there. But if you really want to scale this baby up, you need to focus on your vibe. What is the vibe of your bundles? Like for example, this one right here, I can see that the vibe is lavender and summer, because lavender usually grows during the summer and spring, and it looks very nice, and I love this. The vibe is a very crucial part of your listing and your shop. So make sure that your vibe is matching your brand, the colors, the type of pages you use, the type of images you upload to the bundle. It all has to make sense. And I think the vibe and the quality should be your priority. And if you have a day that you cannot come up with an idea of what to make or design, just skip it. I know I told you to do the 60-day challenge, But sometimes part of the challenge is to not make a step. And not because you don't want to do the step, it's just because when your brain is not working correctly and you cannot come up with an idea, it's better to skip it. Focus on quality, on vibes, on the brand, and make sure that your things are good. So instead of creating a listing for those 2 hours a day, just do some research and try to figure out what works. So the next day you'll be ready to create a new one and list it in your shop. Okay, but let's keep it real. Scaling this baby up to $1,000 a month, it's very achievable and shouldn't be that hard. But scaling it to $90,000 a month, that's a different game. So how do these people do it? Well, the secret is the details. Honestly, this rule applies to anything that you do. Any business, social media, TikTok shop, TikTok affiliate. The secret that differentiates 1%ers from 99%ers are the details. So how is it possible that my Perch Prince is making $90,000 a month with digital products? First of all, look at this cover photo. They explains everything you need to know about the coupons, and they encourage you to buy more listings at once to save more money. Another thing is their images are fantastic and they show how this design actually looks in real life. So even though this is digital design, they print it out themselves and they show it what you can create. They even have instructional videos that show you how this can be used, and this increases their conversion rates to the roof. And when you go to the description, they even include a YouTube video that will show you exactly how to build this. Also, in their description, you can see that they suggest different listings that are similar to the one that we just watched. So that way, the people that like the listing that they saw first might click on one of these and be like, oh yeah, this is going well together. Maybe I should buy both of these together. And look, that requires a lot of work, but I just want to keep it real with you. That's the biggest difference between a store that's making $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 a month and $90,000 a month. But hey, if you can make $90,000 a month, I think you can go that extra mile and create custom content or videos or whatever else in order to scale this baby up. But for now, I think you should just focus on making $1,000 a month and just start your journey. That's the biggest and most important step you can do right now. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, drop a like. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Again, go to thedropshippingguild.com, join our community. I'll see you there. And also check out this video right here. It's a very cool one. You're gonna love it. But that's it. I'll see you next time. Bye.